Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near death experience of Sergio, and this experience occurred on August 14th of 1994 and was documented on September 17th of 2017. And it was translated from the Spanish language. Open quote. During a car journey coming back to Nazca, which is south of Lima, I crashed almost head on with the bus carrying passengers. I was going along the opposite side of the road and I was overcome with sleep. At the point of the crash, a white light took over my entire field of vision. Then I lost all sense of time and woke up standing in a giant garden. I thought it was like a cemetery because there were buildings, outside steps, and embankments made of marble. The light was very warm, like a sunset. The vegetation was short and of a reddish-brown color, without any green. I was puzzling over the scene when an enormous presence appeared to my right. It was like a giant tower or a giant bishop from a chessboard. But the curious thing was that it was impossible for me to focus on it clearly. There were no defined borders, but it was quite solid. I perceived it as an out-of-focus image, like a silent swirl. This presence spoke to me without words and invited me to stay a while in this place. I responded angrily because I didn't want to stay there with him. This presence then punched me, and I began to fall to some truly horrible places. I passed through at least 3 horrible places that were horrendous and strange. I was still angry, so I yelled so the presence could hear me. I am not frightened. Is that all you have got? I passed through a battle where the bodies were shredded like a pulp of bones and blood. The second place was like a desert of ice with a violet sun overhead. The final place was like a volcano erupting. In spite of this, I was aware of my weight and gravity. I still wasn't frightened, and I didn't feel pain. Then came the darkness as I felt myself falling even more, like in one fall without end. Just at that moment, I felt a shiver. Then I saw in the background a light that was growing in size. I asked myself, is this death? And I was surrendered to my fate. The next thing I felt was if my face was put in a mask, my hands in gloves, and my eyes were closed. I felt physical pain. On my face and in my eyes was something thick and cold. As I cleaned myself, this ended up being a combination of broken windows of a car and my own blood. I was in the car and in my seat. The people around me had gotten off the bus that I had hit and were screaming, "He is alive!" End quote. Wow. What a story. Sergio. I don't know, buddy. Hope you got a little upset there. I don't know. I'm not scared of you, but you're going to fall forever. And that was sort of brave, or I don't know, maybe another word. Let me see, there are some questions. There might be some questions here. Question, rating your highest level of consciousness. Answer, everything happened with sharp clarity, and I noticed many details, not so much as being awake in this daily life. Question, at what time during the experience were you at your highest level of consciousness and alertness? Answer, during the events of descending to the hellish regions. Question, did time seem to speed up or slow down? Answer, time was like going through a camera slowly, and I was able to appreciate all the movement that happened. Question, comparing your vision. Yes, I was able to see everything clearly, and I usually use contact lenses of medium strength. Question, did you pass into or through a tunnel? Answer, yes. I went through a tunnel that I saw at the end of the experience. I also returned through the tunnel. Question, did you see an unearthly light? Answer, yes. The light came from all directions, but you couldn't see the source of the light. It was very warm, like the sunset. Question, did you seem to enter some other unearthly world? Answer, the places which I passed through was clearly far away from this world. Question, what emotions did you feel during the experience? Answer, a peace and tranquility that was very oppressive for me. I felt lonely in that first place that was like a garden. Then I felt anger at not being able to get away from this place easily. In the end, I felt fear and resignation before what I now suppose was death. Question, what importance did you place on your religious/spiritual life prior to your experience? Answer, slightly important. Question, what was your religion prior? Answer, unaffiliated, agnostic. Question, have your religious practices changed since your experience? Answer, no. And question, what importance do you place on your religious/spiritual life after your experience? Answer, moderately important to me. Question, what is your religion now? Unaffiliated, agnostic. Question, did your experience include features consistent with your earthly beliefs? Answer, content both consistent and inconsistent. Question, did you seem to encounter a mystical being or presence or hear an unidentifiable voice? Answer, the being was definite and had volume. It shone as if out of focus. The presence was enormous, as high as 2 floors or more. Question, do you believe in an afterlife after your experience? Answer, an afterlife probably exists. Yes, there was an intelligence in the place where I arrived. The creature or angel seemed to have some sort of authority in that place. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about life's difficulties, challenges, or hardships? Answer, uncertain. I can't comment on my initial narrative because of reasons of the space needed. But this creature told me something like, you will remain. But they weren't spoken words, but more like a type of telepathy. Question, was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer, yes. There are more details that I need to explain, but it would take a very long time to name them all. Question, how accurately do you remember it? Remember it more accurately. Question, have you ever shared this experience with others? Answer, yes, I told my friends about the experience. Some were skeptical and others thought it was a miracle, but it wasn't a great transcendence in their lives. Question, what do you believe about the reality of your experience? Answer, experience was definitely real. End quote. End questions. And wow. Got punched out, punched back to life. Have a great day.